Internet, and welcome to SonyCentric, the Outerhaven's official PlayStation podcast. We are at episode number 21, the big 2-1. SonyCentric is old enough to drink now, folks.
I was about to say that. Damn it, Jason.
Just like me. Well, I'm like 25 or something. I don't know how old I am. I forget my birthday. I'm your host, Jason Kwasnicki. As always, I'm joined by the faithful Mark Sullivan.
Yo, our podcast can gamble now, too.
Yeah.
Go to the old AC.
Legalized gambling, sending all that money straight to the government. As if they didn't tax you enough.
Yeah.
And please don't mistake me for a Trump supporter. And on my left, I guess my Cybertronic left, or my internet above me, because she's up there in the list. Assassina-san, Delilah Lugo. I don't think she's a Trump supporter either.
No, sir. Hello.
SonyCentric, your number one political or presidential candidate podcast.
Yeah, what if he chooses to go to E3 just to have another public outlet out there?
That would actually be hilarious.
He goes out there, he signs up with EA to try to advertise for Battlefield.
Oh, if he walks out on stage during a press conference.
It's like, I don't know what Activision's doing over there, but they're a bunch of fucking idiots with that Call of Duty. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with that future shit, but we got World War I. I'm a New Yorker and I can't do a bad New Yorker accent. It's weird. It doesn't jive.
That's okay.
Moving on to the news of the day. Or the news of the week, I should say. Actually, we had a couple of interesting little snippets going down. The first one, No Man's Sky. There were rumors that it was being delayed, and then Sean Murray went on his blog and pretty much confirmed it. So No Man's Sky, which was going to come out, June 21st, I believe?
June 21st, yep.
Now will be coming out on August 9th in the United States, August 10th across Europe, and August 12th in the UK. And Sean Murray, founder of Hello Games, the face of this game, nice shaggy beard, got a good look to him. Probably seen him on, he went on the Tonight Show, didn't he, with Stephen Colbert?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, he's a funky looking dude.
You've probably seen him because he's shown up at so many of Sony's press conferences throughout the past 2 years, and he's just the sweetest man.
He is. He's so nervous. You can tell when he's up there.
He is hands down other than the guy that announced and showed off Unravel during EA's conference last year. Sean Murray is so genuine. He just comes out and he's just like, "Hey, I'm Sean Murray from Hello Games." It's
he's very excited about his product, which makes me excited about it.
Hey, you know what? A delayed game always it will always become a good game, or almost always become.
He says, "quote unquote," some key moments needed extra polish to bring them up to our standards. That's kind of the go-to line. Yeah. And honestly, it's literally a month. It'll be the first week of, or a little after, 2 days after the first week of August.
It's a month and a half, maybe a month and two, I don't know, a month and a couple weeks. I don't know. It's not that bad.
For me personally, this is the game that really made me want to buy into next gen. I love this kind of Star Trek feel of it, where you're literally exploring to explore, and we've seen gradually more and more of it where you are interacting with aliens and such. You are. There's Minecraft elements, but there's also combat elements. I'm still.
Fair. We talked about this game.
Yes, we did have a whole episode associated with it.
I think which one was that?
I don't know. I'll link it. I'll link it in the description. I don't feel like thinking about it that hard. It's a lazy day. It's Memorial Day.
I'm looking into it while we're talking. Don't worry.
Okay, Mark. See, this is why he's the faithful. He does all this shit. He fact checks me. I'm just the pretty face that you can't see.
Pretty face you can't see.
But we have an even prettier face, probably virtually sitting right next to me. Delilah, what do you think about all this?
Listen, pushing back games is always a good thing. Polish it. That's it. Make it happen. Plus, it gives me more time to play Overwatch and then Mirror's Edge, and it's fine. Don't worry about it. Take your time.
Summer releases there are, or anything you have in your backlog, because we've actually had a pretty busy spring.
Yes, very much so.
Definitely.
I'm finding it difficult to like go back and really play. Like for instance, I recently reviewed Fallout 4, the first really big expansion,
Far Harbor.
Far Harbor, yeah, and I loved it. I gave it a really good review. I said if it wasn't for some technical issues that came out with it, very bad frame rates associated with like the volumetric fog effects. If it wasn't for that, I would have given it a higher score than I gave the original game, just because of how much better the story was. It was more like a Fallout game. It felt more like New Vegas in the choices it allowed me to make. You could actually approach the story from a variety of different ways, different points of view. But and after I did my playthrough for the review, I wanted to go back to it, but then Overwatch hits, and I'm like, oh shit! I've literally devoted over the course of a week like 30 hours, or no, actually it was like more like 20 something hours to Overwatch. And now I'm like hardcore into that, even though I really want to get back into Fallout. And meanwhile, Uncharted 4, I thought I was going to be playing a shit ton of that, but like, I only did the one single player run through, and the multiplayer I've streamed with you. So like, I've been all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a lot of games that came out. Usually, not that many games come out around the spring and summer.
Well, summer's usually like a big drought.
Yeah.
But spring is just on the rise, and. But regardless, yeah, no, delaying a game. If it
the whole reason we came to that.
Yeah, we got a little off topic, or we got a little off track.
I got excited. I'm sorry.
God, Jason, you gotta calm yourself.
I'm supposed to be the host. I'm being unhostly.
My goodness.
Sean Murray and the journalists were getting death threats.
Yeah, that's like
what?
Right, you know what? Oh, you didn't see that?
I didn't see that. No.
All right, so this I saw it retweeted actually by Shinobi. I was checking Twitter. Jason Schreier from Kotaku.
Is it Schreier or Schreier? I always whatever.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. But he kind of broke the story initially, before Sean Murray confirmed it, and he was getting like DMs on Twitter of like death threats saying like this my life is for this game, how dare you say that it's delayed. This is like, dude, like, are you kidding
me? Chill pill.
It's not like he did it. It's not like anybody that reports this stuff that's just like a huge issue that we don't even need to get into right now. But
it's not like Sean Murray is sitting there twirling his big like woodsman-y beard like, oh, how can I fucking troll with, you know, my fans. He's like a little indie developer. Like, literally his entire career is hanging on this game. Yep. He's not trying to fuck it up.
Now, Shinobi's retweet of what Jason Schreier tweeted out about the death threat basically put it best. Was just like that's like the worst case of shoot the messenger he's ever seen. I have to say that's probably the worst case I've ever seen of that. Right. Like, that's just ridiculous.
Speaking of Jason Schreier, how many guys do you think he blows, or girls do you think he blows, to get all the fucking scoops he gets?
I don't think
it's literally every week. Literally.
He's just good at his job.
It's just weird. It's not even like this is like a remake of a game or a new game that we've already played in a series. It's like a new IP. Like, why are people, not that death threats would be okay regardless, but why are people like so hung up on it? Like, just chill out.
Because to be fair, we've been waiting a long time for this game. It was announced December 2013.
Yeah, long time.
It's been a long time coming, and it's been delayed several times. It's just like ridiculous that it gets delayed once, and you're condemning the journalist that reported that. That's just ridiculous.
Quite frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these delays had to do with Sean getting outside pressure to add things to the game that maybe weren't in there originally.
That's possible. But
I think a lot of the more Minecraft-y elements and like some of the more combat elements that are more familiar to a larger audience were kind of pushed in there. I think the original game was more of like an independent, like one of those like quote-unquote walkathons that we're more familiar with from the indie scene.
You know, as we've gone over before, part of the whole reason, I don't know, I never quite got this game until maybe a month or so ago. I never really understood what it was, because that's what I thought it was, but then I was getting different reports from other people, different accounts. I didn't really know what this game was.
Yeah, they've gradually introduced more and more stuff, and the fact that a lot of those mechanics weren't introduced until like a few months ago, or like a few months before what the game's release was supposed to be, makes me think that a lot of this shit was tacked on towards the end of development to try to appease a larger market.
It may have been, but the fact of the matter is we don't really know right now.
Yeah, but that's speculation.
Yeah,
and that's just my speculation as to why it might have been delayed a little bit.
Before we do move on, I do want to just point out, I'm pretty sure, just to give him props here, I'm pretty sure Clinton did call this.
Yeah, of course.
I think in a previous episode he did say that this was going to get delayed, and I don't think any of us believed him, but he was right.
I didn't want to believe him.
Well,
I'm really looking forward to this game.
I wanted to believe him, but I also just genuinely did not think this game could get delayed any longer. And to be fair, it's not. Like we said, it's not that much longer, but still.
Well, moving on a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah, just moving on. Period. There was another rumor coming out of the famed rumor mill this week. So somebody says, is an insider, quote unquote, because you know we love our insiders. Although apparently this one is a CTO at like.
Yeah.
Let me find the quote.
CTO.
Yeah, an anonymous. And for those of you who don't know, that stands for Chief Technical Officer. A very esteemed position. Actually, it is. It's like an executive position. He told.
I'm not even joking.
Yeah, he told Edge Magazine, quote unquote, PSVR was going to be terrible on a parentheses bracket thing launch PS4. It was going to be truly awful. Something a bit more powerful starts to bring VR into range if you want to deal with crazy requirements. Yada 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 yada. So basically, PS4, the vanilla PS4 apparently wasn't powerful enough for things that VR developers wanted to do, and that was kind of the primary incentive in the beginning for Neo. You know, what has been speculated, rumored to be happening this year. Of course. Oh, keep going.
No, carry on. Finish your thought.
All I was going to say was, of course, Sony has yet to officially confirm that, although it's widely speculated that a lot of those more detailed leaks came from Sony after the fact, like directly from the top.
Yeah, well, I mean, none of that's confirmed though, right? Or did I miss?
No, not at all. That's what I was saying.
Right.
I'm saying nothing's officially confirmed, but I think it would make sense that a lot of the more detailed stuff that came out in the second wave, like specific policies that they will have in place, that has to come from the top of Sony.
But here's the thing that I just don't like. This is why I've been saying since the beginning, and we've been talking about this for almost 10 episodes now. It's over 2 months, I think, at this rate. Assuming I'm right about 10 episodes.
It's come in here and there, yeah. It's been looming.
Yeah. The thing is, when this first broke, like it was, we were told from whoever was putting out the rumor, whoever was like putting that stuff out there, we were told that this was going to work, that PSVR was going to work just fine on on launch PS4 tech and PlayStation Neo, and Neo is mostly for 4K. And this is why I've been saying not to believe anything, be skeptical of everything, and this is why I've been saying just, you know, wait and see until they actually say something, because here we go, changing the story again. This is another instance where the story has been completely changed. We're getting a completely different rumor than what we've heard in the past.
Right.
And it's only 2 weeks now until E3. Like, believe it or not, it's crazy. It's 2 weeks from now that we'll be seeing Sony's press conference.
Mm-hmm.
That's when we're gonna find out what the hell is true, what the hell's not, and it's just like ridiculous. I don't know what to believe about this thing. I definitely believe it exists. Now,
yeah, no, of course,
I believe it exists. I just don't know what to believe about it.
There's no way to argue that there's not some truth to the wealth of shit that's come out, but I'm with you in that I have been reserving a lot of my judgment until we see how Sony frames it and where it's coming from.
This is the 5th or 6th time that the story has been completely changed. Maybe not completely, but a major function, part, whatever you want to call it, has been completely changed.
Delilah, what's your take?
I mean, it would make sense if the VR was an influence to this upgrade, but yeah, let's just wait for E3, man. Hopefully they'll speak to that.
And you're right. It would make sense, but it totally makes sense that maybe the launch PS4 couldn't run PSVR. It totally makes sense to put out new hardware, but the thing is, like, the story's just changed. Like, we heard before that it would run on launch PS4s.
Oh, sorry.
My God, no. I'm pretty much just rambling at this point because none of this makes any goddamn sense.
I will say that I've yet to actually get a chance to put on the mask and play VR for myself, but we know that PSVR has been running on regular PlayStations, and I've watched people playing, and I've watched the games on the screen, and it's not the games weren't running bad, but to be fair, they weren't what we know we can achieve from PlayStation 4. The graphical fidelity was pretty, low quality.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the question is more of how, like, the question, and I think what becomes worrisome for owners of vanilla PlayStation 4 who want to invest in PSVR or they've already pre-ordered it, is, when the developers for virtual reality start really trying to push it and create games on the level of, something like Uncharted 4 or Metal Gear Solid 5, or even further beyond that, will vanilla for PlayStation 4 get left behind,
Yeah. Just wait and see.
It might have to. But that's certainly a worry that, regular people who are very interested in VR, I'm not like totally bought by VR yet. I haven't had that that hook planted in my mouth, but
yeah, neither have I really. Although 100-foot robot golf kind of does.
It sounds very enticing, man. I gotta lay down that $500.
Have you seen that game? That game looks dope as hell.
So, that's a rumor. That happened.
That's a thing, apparently. We'll see what happens.
How do you feel about these two stories, folks? Please leave comments down there. We want to know. We want to know discussion. We want to know your opinions. Maybe we can respond to them if you got questions. So just leave it all down there. Give us a like. And then we'll get back to you next episode. We're going to move on, though, to some purely... I mean, I guess this is a news story. Overwatch came out. That's a thing that happened. That's a story, you could say. And the world fucking loves it. The world is just, chomping on the bit on Blizzard's dick right now because they came out with this game.
Oh, jeez.
So,
I don't know, when we talked about the beta before, I don't know if I mentioned that I wasn't planning on getting it when it came out immediately. But in case I did mention that, yeah, this week I broke and bought it.
Nice.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I would.
Saw my I wasn't planning on it. I saw my Twitter feed though, and everybody was talking about it. A couple of my friends bought it, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna break, and I bought it.
I wasn't going to unless I had people to play with, and you said you were gonna get it, and then I knew Delilah was getting it, and I was just like, fuck it. And honestly, I played most of the time by myself, just pick up games, and I've still had a shit ton of fun. Delilah, I know you're a
fan over at Outerhaven, man.
Yeah. Delilah, I know you probably have already platinum it.
No, that game... You talking about Overwatch, right? No way. Those trophies are so hard. They're so specific. Like, Lucio. Wall ride and get 3 kills. Lucio is a healer. His gun's not strong. How are you gonna get 3 kills while wall riding?
Right.
You gotta use that bounce thing and like push them into chasms and shit. That's what you gotta do. The thing.
I'm trying, man, but all those trophies are very specific.
No,
I'm not even.
I'm totally with you. Like that trophy list is hard as hell.
Well,
You and I are both trophy hunters. You know that I know for sure that that's like one of the first things you and I did was go and look at what those trophies were like. And holy shit, that is a tough trophy list.
it also seems like they require coordination. Like, you gotta coordinate that with other people's supers and shit.
Sometimes, yeah, you do. On some of them, it's gonna be a tough plat for sure.
It's one of those platinums that you just have to play forever and they'll come naturally.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
there's like 2 trophies for every single character, and they all played it.
There's so many trophies, dude.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be a crazy one.
It will be, well, I don't think I can say it will be as bad. It'll probably be worse than that fucking Fallout 4 settlement shit that I spent like 2 weeks on.
Definitely.
It'll be worse than that.
That was awful.
Oh, I'm sure.
Hey, I got my first plat ever, but it wasn't worth it.
One of us. No,
I'm never doing that shit again. Fuck that. But, Overwatch, I kind of wanted to talk just for a few minutes. Everybody's kind of talked about, how good it is. We could speak we talked about it on this show. We could speak over and over again about how these aren't my type of games, but you can jump in and play it. It's so easy, it's so accessible, it's so much fun, there's so much character to it. I'm more curious as to what you guys think about the longevity of the game. In terms of what the content looks like right now, how you think it will be supported, do you think the community will last? Because right now, it seems as if 80% of people who play video games are playing this game right now.
Yeah.
Do you think that will last,
If they keep backing it up with more maps and game modes, for sure. If they keep adding, especially game modes. Maps don't really matter as much, but adding more game modes than what we have right now, it's definitely gonna keep it going.
I feel like you need maps because the maps are so specifically designed around the game modes.
Yeah, and you're not wrong, but I feel the game modes are more important. Delilah, what did you want to say? Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, I think it depends on the person. Alright, well, first of all, Blizzard's very supportive of adding content. Like Diablo, the community there is still very, very, active.
Yeah, I'm part of that. I still play that shit all the time, yeah.
I platinumed it, not too long ago, and I had that game forever. So I have faith that they're gonna keep this game going, keep adding content, whether it be game modes, maps, characters. They're definitely gonna add it. So I have no doubt in my mind that it's gonna keep people interested. But I think even if they don't do that for a while, if you're the type of person that's like, hey, let me try every character, and you're interested in seeing how each character works, and you're working as a support, even if you're not a support character, but sort of figuring out how your character can support the team, you're always going to find something new about that game.
Mm-hmm. And that's more on a personal level, I feel, too.
Yeah.
It's not only are you going to find something new about that game, but you're going to find something new to you about that game. It's not just something new in general, globally.
Yeah, I think if you're married to a character, and
it's not going to be as fun.
1 or 2, then I don't think you're really going to find yourself being too interested in the game for too long.
Yeah.
Right. I get mad tilt, and I'm sure, you guys know what tilt is, right?
Oh, what? What are you talking about?
Delilah, you play shooters. You know the term tilt?
No.
Okay. Well, tilt is when you get really fucking mad while you're playing a game. Particularly a multiplayer game.
I mean, dude, I play shooters too. I have no fucking clue what that is.
Sorry, I don't know. It's just a term you hear a lot, what people say on YouTube and shit. Oh man, I was going mad tilt. Anyway, that's tilt is for our audience members who didn't know what tilt was. That's what tilt is. So I main Mercy. Pretty much my setup is I main Mercy, and if my team's just not getting it done, I'll switch to Pharah or Widowmaker and up the DPS. But I main Mercy a lot, and I get mad tilt when I'm just healing, I'm reviving, I'm fucking flying around the map doing all this shit, and just my teammates are just not getting it done.
Yeah.
And that's upsetting and it's frustrating, and it worsens the game. And if I was just not gonna switch characters, switching to Pharah and trying to help them push, the game would just become unplayable for me. And Delilah, I think you're right in that, more people have to learn how to switch around and counterpick with different characters. And that if you're not doing that, then the game is significantly less fun.
Yeah. And, like, all the characters are so different, and even each character can play a role on a map or a game mode differently in each game mode, and differently with other characters. Like, a Mercy Zarya combination is just, like, off the wall.
Right.
And you don't really learn those things
it is.
until you play with those characters and those character combinations.
As we saw today in our stream.
Oh yeah.
I had to. I was playing as Genji, and then that one player, switched to Zarya because Genji can't deflect the fucking beam. So then I had to switch to Pharah, and I just had to fucking keep supering rockets to kill that Mercy, and she somehow revived people as she was dying from my super.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that Mercy was insane.
Although that's also has to do with the game's tick rate is weird. It's only like 20 hertz. It's kind of fucked up. It leads to a lot of like trades and stuff where like the game won't detect a lot of actions. Basically, for people who don't know what tick rate is, it's the rate at which it refreshes and the game detects shit. So most shooters run at like 60. This one's only running at 20, so it's a little slower. So it's easier to get like sniper trades where, snipers will both shoot each other at the same time and both die. Weird shit like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, the game's really fun. And like you said, each character kind of plays differently. It'll be interesting to see. Obviously, I agree with you that Blizzard they'll definitely support it to a degree, but it'll be interesting to see to what degree. After all, Diablo 3 was supposed to have a fucking multiplayer competitive arena that, 4 years later it doesn't have still? 3 years? How long has it come out?
Wait, what you talking about?
Diablo 3.
Diablo
What year?
3.
Was that 2012, 2013?
2012 initially, yeah.
Yeah, so 4 years later, and every year they literally say that it's coming. Diablo 3 still doesn't have its competitive multiplayer arenas. Like, it was supposed to be separate, like, maps completely.
That's also, that's one feature in an abundance of stuff that they've added and changed.
No, I know.
That game has changed dramatically.
Oh, dude, trust me, I know.
Yeah, I didn't know you played that much Diablo. That's a surprise.
Dude, I had like a couple hundred hours on the PS3 version of Rebirth Souls.
Oh, okay.
And then I bought it on PS4 and put in another couple hundred hours.
Nice. I played on PC when it originally came out.
Yeah, I own it on PC as well, but I have played only a couple hours on it. I don't like it on PC. I need it controls so much better on a game. I mean, I could use a gamepad, but like it's just easier to boot up my PS4 and play it there.
Yeah. No, I feel you.
Because then I don't have to like go through all this like BattleNet shit and I don't know.
Yeah.
Overall, though, Blizzard has definitely I used to be like one of those Blizzard nerds that that I was talking about earlier that sucks their dick all the time. Yeah, I played like OG Warcraft. Like I never got into World of Warcraft, thankfully. Oh my god. Saved myself so much money. What?
Because we probably wouldn't be talking to you right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you'd be playing World of Warcraft.
I'd have a bushy old beard. I'd be that guy from South Park that eating the potato chips. He's got the crazy glove, killing everybody. No, but I played StarCraft a shit ton. I played a shit ton of Diablo 2, and then I kind of just dropped off. Too. Once I hit that World of Warcraft white whale, I kind of dropped off because they weren't really coming out with anything that hit my fancy. But hell, Diablo 3 and Overwatch kind of got me back on the hook. I don't know how you guys feel about Blizzard, but
I love Diablo 2. And Diablo 3 I was okay with. I didn't hate it as much as a lot of other people did, but
for me it was just Diablo and now Overwatch.
Same. And they're both on Sony consoles, so it is SonyCentric.
It is relevant to the show that we are recording right now.
And it is the Outerhaven's official PlayStation podcast.
Ooh,
I am your
segue.
host. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, that was an awesome segue, but I forgot one thing. Mark, you wanted to plug
Oh, yeah,
a little
yeah,
ditty.
I do want to plug a little ditty. Finally today, Sony confirmed that they will be doing the PlayStation E3 Experience 2016 again. For those of you that don't know, this is a thing where they simulcast the Sony press conference at E3 live to a bunch of movie theaters across the nation. I think this year it's 85 movie theaters. Go over to the PlayStation blog. You'll be able to see all the theaters that they will be playing, all the cities and all the states. For me personally, there's only one in Philadelphia, so I will be registering and trying to go to that. This should be up. So you can attempt to register on May 31st. This should be up by then, or by the end of the day at least then. So it should still be relevant. If you're interested in this, go try to do that, because I went last year and it's one hell of an experience.
Do it.
Like you'll get free stuff, and you'll get to see the press conference surrounded by like at least 100 people that all love PlayStation. It's really, really cool.
Great.
There's also free stuff.
Yeah, and there's free stuff. Like, who doesn't want free stuff, man?
You know where you can get free stuff? By going to www.youtube.com/theouterhavennet.
Oh, shit.
Where we got a bunch of free content for you to watch. First and foremost is the podcast you're listening to right now, SonyCentric, the Outerhaven's official PlayStation podcast. So, you can either go to that YouTube channel that I previously mentioned, subscribe, we got other shows too for you to watch, or you can head on over to www.theouterhaven.net for our written content. You can check out our reviews. Mark got an Uncharted review up. I recently reviewed Fallout 4 Far Harbor, the latest DLC package there. You can go check that shit out. Please, folks, if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, leave your comments down there, questions, suggestions. If you want to hear us talk about something specific, leave it down at the bottom. Maybe we will. Honestly, probably we will, because if you leave it down there, it'll probably be like the only thing down there, and we'd be so excited. We'd be jerking off all over it. It'd be awesome. I'm your host, folks, Jason Kwasnicki. You can reach me at SolidQuas, capital S, capital K. I was joined by Mark Sullivan, aka Nibelheimian, not capital N. And of course, as always, we have the lovely Assassina-san. That's, I don't know, is it all caps for your handle?
Yes.
Okay, so it is all caps. Assassina-san, ASSASSINA -san. The lovely Delilah Lugo.
-san.
Hey. Could be
I just thought it was funny, man. That's all. Carry on.
Alright. I'm just being hostly, okay?
You're doing a good job.
I'm beefing up everybody's grandeur. See, this is how you do an outro, Mark. Not your bullshit on your streams.
You'll never let that go.
God, man.
Fucked it up the first time you were on. This has been SonyCentric, folks. Peace out, internet.
Later.
Bye.